anyone here listening today addicted to hard drugs? Some say you have to be addicted in order to listen to this show. Anyone here addicted to alcohol? I might have a drink right after this show. Some say you need to have a drink after listening to this show. What about sleep deprivation? Studies show driving with a lack of sleep is kin to driving under the influence. And a national survey says that 35% of people have driven after being awake for 17 to 19 hours, and I consider those people lightweights. That's how I began Monday's Acoustic Cafe, where I had my premiere as hosting the event, and it was a fantastic success, lots of fun, unbelievable music, and I was so thrilled to be part of it. I talked about sleep. When you have such a lacking of sleep that it becomes a sickness and you actually become physically ill, and in that lack of sleep you can hallucinate and undergo many other terrible, terrible problems. And I actually told a story that I personally went through where I did hallucinate at work, and I imagined someone standing over my shoulder looking at what I was doing. And it's crazy what lack of sleep can do. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to do it again, if they will have me. And the crowd was incredible. It was a good crowd, a great crowd. New people who had not been there before that came in, and it was great. And it really was an awesome experience for me. I said a little less than a year ago that in a year's time I would host the Acoustic Cafe, and I always come through. We'll have Amanda Narcisi on the phone. She's going to talk about BOLD Nights Out, where you need to be this weekend if you plan to be a cool cat in Pittsburgh. And she will also be unveiling a new segment that aired for the first time a little bit earlier today at BOLD Nights Out. You can catch the podcast right now after this show at riversedgepgh.com. We're going to play a clip a little bit later from the open mic. Lots of good stuff. One of this clip in particular is from Liz, and a comparison that she did between myself and another moderately successful radio star. I am Brian Crawford. This is the River's Edge Radio Network. We're broadcasting from a closet-size office in what used to be a furniture store.
This is a
on a road.
This is a Brooklyn
Millville.
living room.
Brooklyn living room. We have Michael Cohen here across the table from me. He'll be joining in as well. He'll be talking with Amanda with me, and also we're going to talk about school administrators who've been given the boot, and we're going to talk about, we have a trifecta, a threesome of sexy stories that we will share with you today, and an old granny who got locked up overseas. So all of that coming to you today on today's program. But yeah, you had a great set. People were ranting and raving. People kept coming up to me afterwards, and they were like, he's incredible. Oh, he's great. Where did you find him? Thank you for bringing him here. Was that your first time performing at the Acoustic Cafe?
It was not my first time there. I think it was my fourth time there, but I've been absent for about 2 months now because I've had a class on Monday nights.
Okay.
So if people are even a little bit new there, they probably haven't seen me.
Yeah,
no, people seemed enthusiastic.
Yeah, it was great.
I was excited.
So, what do you attribute to your success this time? Because you really seem to grab the crowd.
See, I couldn't even tell if I was. The lights there are more than I'm accustomed to at open mics and smaller venues.
It's awesome, but it's
awesome,
hard to see.
So,
and that's one thing that was one thing that I was almost a little bit nervous about, because I've been up on that stage before, but I was always pulled up into someone else's act.
Yeah.
So I was able to just kind of bounce off of what other people were doing. So I was wondering, how will I gauge the audience? Because I like to be interactive with the audience, and it helps me to gauge how I'm doing and what I need to change. So that was a challenge, but it wasn't a challenge that really held me back. I was able to work through it. So
people seem to really like what you were doing.
Well, can you blame them? So It was a great experience, though.
Yeah, no, and it's great when people give you a bunch of compliments afterwards. Stand-up comics are emotionally fickle, extremely insecure individuals who need constant reassurance. So I greatly appreciated that.
Yeah, I had planned to talk about Kellyanne Conway's crotch today.
Yikes.
But, I don't know, we may get into it.
I hope to never get into that.
But,
Boom.
yeah. But, I don't know, what is there to say? She was sitting on a couch. And
I saw some good memes from that.
Yeah.
None had to do with her crotch, though.
No, none had to do with her crotch.
I saw there was the Forrest Gump one where Forrest Gump is screenshotting and he's going, "But Kellyanne, you ain't got no legs."
She needs to go, doesn't she? I mean,
I don't even know where to begin with that mess. Who needs to go first? I have no idea.
Yeah, she's awful. Awful. We're gonna take a quick break. That was the intro. Stay with us because right after this, we do have Amanda Narcisi. She's going to be calling in with her new segment. I'm excited. She's switching things up. She's changing things up here in the show for BOLD Nights Out. And she's come back for the first time. She went on a little hiatus, her and Steve. But she is back with a vengeance. And you got to check it out. BOLD Nights Out. It's brought to you by BOLD Pittsburgh, which is an awesome online blog where you can find out all sorts of great stuff going on in the city, get reviews from different breweries and things like that so you can read up on them and find out if you want to go before you make the trek out. So Amanda's up next right here on the River's Edge. Come on, go! It's green! Come on! Go!
God damn it, Brian. You need to calm down
Yeah,
with
I'm
the road
sick of
rage.
these people, these assholes.
The road rage, man. You gotta calm down on the road rage.
Well, I want to get to where we're going. We have a lot of great stuff coming up. We're going to the Falling Water,
Bicycle heaven.
the Mattress Factory,
Tuck knob.
Trundle Manor. All right, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Come on,
right,
come on.
Right.
Too late now.
Right, come on.
Well, too late now. You know, I got to keep going. I'm not going to sit here like some asshole.
Oh, come on, man.
All right, you're listening to the Culture Cruise. You can find us at riversedgepgh.com.
Your local Pittsburgh area museum podcast.
Yes, riversedgepgh.com, and come take a ride with us.
Who said it on their radio show? Was it Brian Crawford or Howard Stern? Ooh. It's a hard one. You ready? First one. I am completely pissed off that I am circumcised. Brian or Stern? Or Brian or Howard?
Brian. Howard.
Robot Stern.
Robot Stern.
The correct answer is Robot Stern. Yes. Round of applause. Good job. Round of applause. No one listens to me when I say that. Thank you. Next quote. People are pigs, slobs, filth, rats. It's terrible. The bad kind of rats. The sewer rats. Ugly rats. Brian or Howard? Unanimously. That was correct. That was Brian.
Truth sayer.
Next up. If I get into an accident due to a cyclist who is disobeying the law, do I need to finish it? That is correct. The rest of the quote is, just for your amusement, if I get into an accident due to a cyclist who is disobeying the law, not only should they have to pay for my damages, they should have to pay for my mental anguish, and they should have to be forced
To shine my shoe for forcing my toe to touch the earth. Great stuff from Liz Chipotle, or Tripoli, whichever you prefer, from the open mic, the AcoustiCafe. Every Monday they have it over at the Smalls Funhouse. Awesome, awesome stuff. And it was a really cool experience for me, especially to hear her bit, because it was cool to see everybody instantly know which were my quotes and which were Howard Stern's quotes, and that was kind of a fun thing to experience. I'm Brian Crawford here on the River's Edge Radio Network, Pittsburgh's voice for local music, and we right now have Amanda Narcisi over the phone. Amanda, hello.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I haven't had my coffee yet.
Got a weird noise here on the... Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can. There's something weird going on, but we'll make it work. Little buzz, but there's nothing we can do. That's what happens when you have a $120 board. So, Amanda, tell me about some of these new changes to BOLD Nights Out. I'm excited.
Well, so the show went live this morning, or the show went on this morning with a new format. We are no longer going to be, how do I say this, just reading events off of Facebook.
Uh-huh.
We have decided to add a new segment of more like he said, she said.
Yes.
And cover some hot button topics like love, sex, and romance.
So, what did you get into this week?
Well, this week it was all about public sex and a Tinder-like dating app called Hater. So we did he said, and which turned into a if you have Tinder and you're in a relationship, is it cheating conversation.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of multiple levels to it.
Interesting. Amanda, give me 1 second. I'm going to take you off of the board and try and just play it via speakerphone. There's a weird buzz that is annoying the hell out of me, so I know it's annoying everyone else. Give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that, folks. We'll get Amanda up right here. All right. Amanda, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I think this might work out a little bit better. So we've got Amanda Narcisi. Yes, so tell me about He Said, She Said, which is the battle of the sexes on the River's Edge.
So, we're going to cover some hot button topics when it comes to love, sex, and romance. We do want input in from the audience, so if you have something that you want our perspective on, we encourage you to write in, tweet us, Facebook message us about a topic. This week we talked about public sex and a new dating app called Hater, and then it flipped to on if you're in a relationship and you have these types of apps, is it considered cheating?
Now,
so we have
public sex, would you include that, like would that include sex in a fitting room, for example, or are you talking more just like out there for everyone to see?
No, it is more like fitting room.
Fitting room
sex.
Sex.
Kind of thing. The story had come out of Mexico where somebody got caught in a bank vestibule having sex on camera before the bank opened. So there's like Mac machines and like. But my point was that there was no romance. Like, you could clearly see, there was video and pictures and stuff on the internet, and you could clearly see there was no romance, no love, no nothing. It was just like, bam.
Wow.
And there was clearly no heat, no passion between these people. It was like, yeah, it was just there. And it was like they were bored and was like, hey, we have 10 minutes.
That's crazy. So what else have you talked about on this week's show? Without giving too much, because people have to go back to the podcast page. It's already up at riversedgepgh.com and iTunes and Google Play and all of the like. But tell me, what do people have to look forward to? Why should they tune in this week?
We also talked about, we did cover a few interesting events coming up. Right now is my time to go to the theater. Usually about February, March, the weather becomes so unpredictable that some of these events you don't want to attend because, like today, it starts thunderstorming out of nowhere.
Yeah, actually, I enjoyed that, though. I went outside. I sat outside. To me, there's nothing nicer than sitting outside in, like, a cool, rainy day and watching the thunderstorm. Like, I like to sit on the porch, and Heather, the meteorologist on the network, would smack me for this, but I like to sit outside and watch thunder.
I agree. I totally was fine waking up to it all night long and even this morning. And I, for one, love a summer storm where I can sit on my front porch and drink a beer and you know, enjoy it. But as far as going to events, you never know what to wear. You never know if to bring an umbrella. It's kind of like one of those months where it's like, But we have a bunch of theater going on that's great right now. The August Wilson Center is blowing up with the fun tickets, like the interesting plays that you should see.
Mm-hmm.
So the one is coming up next week. This is actually awesome. So the guy who did the one-man Star Wars trilogy last month, he did all the Star Wars movies all by himself.
Like all the voices and everything?
2 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't see it, but I heard it was like epic. He did all the characters, like told the story like a one-man show. He is putting on the Sex and the City parody.
Wow.
It is one man or one woman. I really can't figure out who's going to actually play all the parts. And it is the entire 6 seasons of Sex and the City.
That's incredible.
So on the podcast, we talked about my love of Sex and the City. I am a junkie. I own like all the DVDs. I watch it on TV. I own like the trivia game. I've beaten the trivia game. Like I'm a guru when it comes to Sex and the City. And so this play is exactly up my alley. Like it sounds amazing, and it's only $40.
Nice. And it reminds me of a skit we used to do when I was in Scouts. And it was one guy who played like 5 different roles, but there was a different costume for each role, so he would have to run back and forth and change his voice and play each character. And it was an argument, too, between the different characters, so he would have to run back and forth, and eventually the one character got pissed and killed all of the other characters. It was great.
I don't, well, yeah, I'm sure the setup's like that. I hope that nobody in Sex and the City kills one another in this show, but no, I understand what you mean. Yeah,
Could be some kinky shit, Amanda.
I think maybe you're right. Maybe this is good. But I think maybe you're right, where a lot of the girls dress the same. A lot of them look the same, but their mannerisms are different. Their hair color is different. So it should be a lot of that, like, quick change type of costume, character kind of way to go. But I'm really looking forward to that. But along those same lines is also the multiple choice is still going on. So this is really a lot of fun. For one ticket price, you get a choice of 4 things to do. So you can attend a show, go to a party, or grab a bite to eat on the food truck, or all of the above. So this is all happening at August Wilson. The one that's coming up next is April 7th. It's called Shit-Face Shakespeare. And basically it's exactly what I just said.
Yes.
It is drunk Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. They do that also at Hambones, I know. My friend Ian is often involved in that, so that's always like a fun experience to be able to see something like that, because the actors get drunk. It's incredible.
Yeah, they're doing Midsummer's Night's Dream. So that's already like one of those plays that is like high as hell kind of thing, where there's like fairies and everything. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see it.
Very cool.
And then the other one after that, which I encourage you to get tickets to both, is the Kaiju Big Battle. So this is also the same type of gig, including a monster trike night, which I have no idea what that's going to include. American Gladiator and personality, WWE Attitude Monster Trike Night invites attendees to test their skill on an indoor flat track with, I imagine, trike.
Wow. Check it out.
But the big battle is actually like wrestling, but with costumes.
Yes, we were watching this. Yes.
So it's kind of crazy.
So we have this coffee night that Amanda and I attend. It's a podcasting coffee event, and we were watching videos of this at that event, and it's unbelievable. If I had a spare hand and I wasn't holding this phone, I would pull it up. But yeah, there's video of these guys fighting. It's unbelievable. And they have, not only do they wear monster costumes, but they also have scaled buildings. So similar to Godzilla, in this wrestling rink, the monsters are crashing into city skyscrapers and things like that.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see that. We will actually be ringside for that. I'm really excited, or hopefully ringside, but we have some tickets to that. We will be talking about that more and more over the next month. And the last event, which I just got yesterday, I got asked to go to prom.
Oh, congratulations.
Which was a big deal because in high school I had to ask my dates to prom.
Okay.
So, what this is it's called Epic Prom, and if anybody's listening and they have kids in high school, you have to be a junior or senior in high school. But it is a gigantic prom at State A&E. The idea behind it is if you have friends in other school districts and you would rather go to prom with them, you guys buy tickets to this. There's a red carpet, a DJ, food, no drinking, of course, because it's at, juniors and seniors in high school only. But, decorations, the whole bit. So I'll be talking more about this in the next few weeks, and there's a chance I'll be Instagramming from it. So
There you go.
Cool.
All right.
That's 3 big events, so.
Check out, for more information, BOLD Nights Out. It's on demand right now at riversedgepgh.com. You can also read everything that BOLD has to offer at BOLD Pittsburgh, so you can look them up there. Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. So thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you.
All right, that's Amanda Narcisi. I once had an issue with prom, and a girl who I asked, she said she would go, and then she changed her mind right before prom. So I told her that what I specifically told her, what's that? You're on. You're good. So what I told her was she didn't have a choice. I said, I bought the tux, I bought the tickets. I said, you're going to this damn prom. So she went.
That is not how that works at all.
It worked. She went,
Oh my God.
and I had a wonderful time. She had a terrible time, but I had a great time.
Yikes. Speaking of you dating, I looked up this hater dating app that our last guest was talking about.
Yes, Amanda.
Yeah, so this is a dating app that matches you based on the stuff you hate. And Brian, I'm looking at this ad that they have on their webpage. This might be the dating app for you. Do you hate Trump? Slow walkers?
Slow walkers.
Paying extra for guacamole? You can get matched with people based on this.
Well, the slow walker thing, I don't like Trump, but if somebody was a fan, there are people who like him who are not, like, the scum of the earth. So there
Are
are
they dateable?
maybe, but slow walkers, when I was in high school, back to high school, people would get in front of me, and I have this thing. I'm a really fast walker, and I always get stuck behind some slow moron who's just going at a snail's pace.
I knew that was going to be your one, the slow walk.
They always get in front of me, and you feel trapped. And no matter what you do, you move to the left, they shimmy to the left. You try to move to the right, they sidestep to the right. There's no way around them. You get stuck on all sides. People are coming up to your left and to your right, and you're trapped.
I have the same frustration, and the worst is, and this is not a sexist thing, but when it's a woman, because then I also feel like maybe she thinks I'm trying to follow her or like take her, because I gain on her quickly and then I don't go around her. And I'm like, oh, do you think I'm trying to like purse snatch you or like creeping?
I don't care about her feelings. I care about my legs not being able to go at the speed that they need to go.
Oh, most of my anxieties in the world have to do with other people. But
like, I
fair.
need to stretch my legs as I walk. I cannot stand walking slow. And everybody just moseys. Like, nobody's in a hurry. Nobody has any sense of urgency. And it astounds me to see how people just go through life with such little passion.
Oh, you're in the wrong city, Brian. Anywhere in the Northeast, you'd fit right in.
I can't stand it. It's just like, literally, you see people. It's like I don't it's like they're physically trying to go as slow as possible. It's like there's something off in their mind. I don't understand it. When I was in high school and people used to do this thing where they would just stop in the middle of the hallway, I used to just take my hands and push them the hell out of my way.
Oh my God.
Knock someone's ass down to the ground and keep going.
Brian.
What?
Go on.
What is wrong with that?
That's a rhetorical question. I'm not.
Up next, we're going to talk about 3 sexy stories. I say that in quotes.
Okay.
A threesome of unfortunate events. That's up next. Stay with us.
Would you be interested in developing conscious choice? Would you be interested in creating reactions rather than waiting for one to come? Would you be interested in combining serendipity and synchronicity? Would you be interested in making 1 + 1 = 3? Would you be interested in finding out about full impact mindfulness? If so, I challenge you to join myself, Jim Ellermeyer, a cognitive behavioral health therapist, every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on the River's Edge, where we will challenge you to allow us to help you help yourself to fully participate in your life. Let the adventure begin.
Three pioneers of sex this week have me stuck in a love triangle of sexy stories.
Also, what did you refer to as a threesome of unfortunate events?
Yes.
That sounds like the worst Lemony Snicket's spinoff.
It is really pretty sad.
Fanfic.
Lots of sex, and none of it's good sex. Bad sex. Dirty sex. The kind of sex that will give you some sort of disease. The Plum principal resigns after doing nothing to stop the brothel in Plum School District. The Plum principal of the high school. You're familiar with that, right? The brothel that is Plum School District?
No.
Lots of teachers getting it on with students at Plum, and the principal finally resigned.
Now, when you say brothel, was there money being exchanged here?
I don't know. I could imagine, like, tit for tat. Hey, you suck my cock, I'll give you an A+,
Oh, we just went there. Okay.
I can imagine that happening. I mean, what else is going on? I mean, you've got students sleeping with kids. What kind of fucked up person sleeps with a child? Apparently, it's on the rage. An ex-Westmoreland County doctor was using the high price of drugs to his advantage and was rolling out a discount program where he offered drugs for sex.
Swapping drugs for sex, I mean, that's the great American pastime.
Yeah, and he was taking a cue from the teachers at Plum because he was trading drugs to a 15-year-old.
Oh.
For that sex, so...
Yeah, we frown on that. I mean, swapping coke for sex is, I mean, that's just, it's a terrible thing, but it's what people do in this country. But no, leave the kids out of it, guys. Come on.
And the third story, Kellyanne Conway and her crotch. So she was sitting awkwardly on a couch, and her legs were open for everyone to see. Well, a bunch of people came to meet the president who were graduates from historically black colleges and universities. So, I don't know. People were mad at her and saying that she wasn't respecting them because she wasn't wearing shoes, but I'm not wearing shoes. And I guess, yeah, I don't respect you either, so.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that is the least awful thing I've heard of Kelly Conway doing so far.
Yeah, she's really like...
Where
did she come from, and how is she like anything?
I mean, in the grand scheme of Kellyanne Conway, that is not news. I'll go ahead and say it. She does actual terrible things.
But it's going crazy on social media. People like all around the world are like commenting on the way she was sitting on a couch.
That's actually one of the things that drives me nuts, is that the things that actually need to get attention get brushed under with this garbage stuff, and the left is just as bad as the right about it. Like, why would you talk about that when she is responsible for actual terrible, awful things? Like, and then or like the whole urine thing with Trump. Who cares about the urine? There's an immigration. Like, why are we talking about the urine?
Oh, apparently I satted on my own video. The River's Edge is crying. Yeah, no, I agree. She's stupid. Like what the hell? Like, well, how does I just don't understand. Like, who thought it was a good idea to make her anything in that administration?
Oh, it was brilliant. What are you talking about?
how's it brilliant? No, I'm serious. Like,
She's
I'm
a
curious.
masterful propagandist. She does a wonderful job for him. She's the devil, and she does a really
You mean because
great
she
job
like
for him.
is such like she's like the Jar Jar Binks of the administration, where she just like takes the attention off of him because she does so much stupid shit.
Right. Well, that's
says
the.
dumb
I mean,
things.
we talked about this last week. That's the whole thing that the Trump administration does. Is it does outrageous things to cover actual really serious stuff. So like a lot of the time when he sends one of these outrageous tweets that everyone freaks out about, you're looking at the left hand while the right is actually doing some serious shit.
And they all do that. That's not just him, but
He does it well.
he does it very well. Well, that's yeah. I mean, that's how he won the election. Is he went out and did weird shit and he got attention. And that's the thing. Everyone always said, and I've argued with people again over and over and over. Everyone says he's an idiot. I said no, he's not. He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's an absolute genius. He knows how to tweak the media like no one I've ever seen before.
Or at the very least, he's read a couple of books.
Yeah. Well, but he got a loan from his dad, so he can't be that smart. But because everybody in the world is going to take him, $1 million and turn it into $1 billion. But
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if there are a few books that you can read that are basically just the books he's working out of right now. There's one called Influence by a guy, last name Cialdini, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Art of Deception. I mean, there are a series of books that you can read about that. You don't need to be a genius. The thing that you need to have is no interest in actual policy and be focused on just that stuff, basically. And that's, to me, that's the real departure. It's less the genius and more just he was ballsy, But which partially because he had nothing to lose because he's not a politician, right? He's just a showman who was like, oh, maybe I could do politics.
Also, there's a backlash to all of the political correct speech, and he kind of embodies that. So,
yes.
He... I'm trying to think like how to phrase this. So, like, okay, everybody's getting sick of being told what to say and how to say it, and you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. If you say this, then you're immediately a racist. Even though maybe you're just confused. There's no wiggle room at all in today's world. You're either 100%, you agree with me 100%, or the thought police are coming in to lock you away. So people have gone completely the opposite direction now, where they just, feel like, they wanted somebody who will just say whatever. And that's Trump. So, but let's come up with a scenario. We've got the doctor, the good doctor, wheeling and dealing drugs, and Kellyanne Conway, who is probably on drugs. Do you think that we can maybe make a deal? Or is she too old for him?
He gets a peek from directly in front on the couch, and she gets free Xanax? Is that
something like
that's
that.
what you're trying to set up there? I think people got to broker those kinds of deals themselves.
Set up a situation. Come on, we're matchmakers here.
I think once you get third-party negotiation in there, it gets super dodgy.
I think we can make.
Are we taking a little off the top here, or?
Let's come up with we're gonna come up with a dating scenario.
A new dating app.
A new dating app called Bad. I don't know. Called
Kelly.
Kelly. Yes.
It's called Kelly.
Called Kelly. Yes. So. This one talk radio host I listen to always refers to her as a barfly. Like, she looks like somebody who would be hanging out at the bar.
Yes.
So I can see that
immediately.
I mean, it really is like she looks exactly like that. So maybe she's mixing the drugs with alcohol.
She looks like she has, substance-wise, had a hard life. That's what I get when
this past Monday, we talked about how drugs, hard drugs, alcohol, and sleep deprivation can lead to weird and bizarre scenarios. She looks like she could be on something. I mean, the good doctor could be giving her something. She's, probably a drinker. And she works for the President of the United States, so I imagine she has a busy schedule. She's not getting a lot of sleep. So, she's got all of these problems, and then all of a sudden the good doctor comes with a prescription to cure her of all of her ailments.
Okay. And then
she starts separating her legs on the couch in the Oval Office.
Oh, Brian.
He gets the Donald to come in and bring in a glass of scotch. I don't know. She swishes down the Xanax with the scotch. I don't know. I could see, like maybe the Donald, maybe Kellyanne Conway can turn the Oval Office into something great again, like Bill Clinton. Bring back that style of class to the Oval Office. I don't know. I'm just thinking out of my ass here. Speaking of drugs.
Yes, please.
Speaking of drugs, we do have an interesting situation here, because we did talk about the doctor who's trying to solve the drug crisis, the expense of drugs and how expensive they are. Well, the drug companies have actually come out with a statement. They are, and this is according to the Post-Gazette, they are not going to lower the prices of prescription drugs, but they're going to slow down the increase. So rest easy. The drug prices the drugs that you cannot afford to keep yourself out of the crazy house, those prices are not going down, but they're not going up as rapidly. So rest easy. You still will not be able to afford what you need, but not quite as they're not going to be quite as unaffordable as they could have been. The drug companies could have really jacked it up, but they're doing you a favor, and they're just going to slowly screw you over.
My understanding is that there was a large influx of illicit pharmaceuticals recently from looting that happened during the Baltimore riots. So perhaps that's a different option if people are looking for alternative methods for getting their pharmaceuticals during these times of high prices. My understanding is that they're just kept at pharmacies, and if there's civil unrest in your city for a week or two, you could probably just go and loot some.
I also know a doctor in Westmoreland County, and he's got a deal for you. And on that note, we will be right back.
Hey, this is Matt Geica, your host of Geik's Got Game, 8 a.m. every Friday here on the River's Edge. I'll take a peek behind the sports media curtain, zoom out for the big picture, and as always, obsess over the details of the sports, teams, and players we love or love to hate. It's Geik's Got Game every Friday at 8 a.m. on the River's Edge.
All right, Michael, do you have a bucket list?
Like things I need to do before I die?
Yes, things that you want to do before you die.
I sure do, Brian. Why do you ask?
What is on your bucket list?
Oh, it changes all the time. When I was young, I really wanted to ride freight trains across the country.
Okay.
One day I rode them halfway across the country, and I'm gonna call it on that one. But I've never really traveled around Europe. Would love to do that.
That would be cool, yes.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to do it over there, too, because they actually have modern public transportation.
Although I feel like I probably just missed the 20-year golden window of that as they all kind of shut their borders because of various manufactured crises.
Also, well, there's a lot that goes into that, but maybe this isn't the time to
No,
jump into that.
I wasn't trying to open it.
But
sorry, manufactured is a very loaded word. I should moving right along. Go on.
All right, so there's a 99-year-old woman who spent a few nights in jail.
Okay.
And she is from the Netherlands, and she went to jail because it was on her bucket list. She wanted to be arrested, wanted to go to jail, and the police obliged.
Did she do something cool to get it?
No, I think she just literally asked the police to go to jail.
Oh, that's so silly. How many other things could be on your bucket list if going to jail is a viable option?
Yeah, I mean, she could have done something more fun. The police officer actually says, or the police said that we usually don't do this, but we made an exception for Annie. A police spokesman told BuzzFeed News it was just a couple of minutes in the cell, so she was only in there for a few minutes.
Oh.
It was all about the experience. We don't know why it was on her bucket list, but she wanted to go to jail, and...
See, I feel like at that point, you start crossing things that are only, if you're gonna go to jail anyway, lady, get out and shoplift or write graffiti. Have you ever thrown your shoes at an American president during a press conference? I feel like when I watched that happen in the mid-2000s, I was like, that might be on my bucket list. You know?
Yeah.
If you're trying to go to jail anyway, like, it really opens up the options.
Well, you know what I've always wanted to do, right?
No, Brian.
Okay.
What have you always
This I
wanted
could go to jail for this, possibly, even though I don't think I should. I think it should be okay. And I'll tell you why.
You should just go ahead and tell us because it's starting to sound bad. Go on.
Okay, well, you know who my sworn enemy is, right?
No. The bike lane?
Not the bike lane, the cyclists of Pittsburgh, the scourge of the streets. One of these days, one of those bastards is going to be splitting lanes, and I'm going to accidentally
Your bucket list is to car
open my
door
door.
a biker?
Yes, because
You're
they
a
should
monster!
not be. No, they're touching my car. They're causing panic in the streets, disorder, and chaos.
You're a monster.
I'm not a monster. I'm just somebody who I respect the rule of law, and I respect order, and I respect civility.
You put that on your bucket list. I will add to my bucket list beating a motorist who tries to car door me with a U-lock.
Okay, well, would you go and split lanes and be a bastard like that? Or would you follow the traffic laws? Are you got a show tonight at the Double L?
Yeah,
This is your chance to plug
Yep,
it before you're banned forever.
Tonight I've got
You're a cyclist, correct?
most of the time. I do also drive. I am sympathetic. It drives me nuts when they do that. I try to do it very conservatively. I only
so
do
you
it,
do it?
I
You
do it
split lanes?
in fully stopped traffic.
No, it's never acceptable. You are supposed to be like a car when you are on the road, and you should be waiting with the other vehicles.
You would never, drivers would never pass another car the way that they try to pass me when I'm driving, when I'm biking. They would never pass another car with that little
How do you
space.
feel about cyclists?
Also, they
being-
would never drive behind another car going as fast as it could and lay on their horn. Or call another car a faggot and tell them to get off the road. So I feel like there's a lot of exceptions that we
Join the
engage with.
future.
Anyway, all right, yeah. So I've got a show at the Double L tonight. That's in Millvale at 8 p.m. I'm opening for Matt Wolfirth. It's going to be a great show. I've got another one coming up in a couple weeks on the 14th with Gab Benesso. Her showcase that she does. It's a wonderful show at the Brillo Box. And I've got some other stuff coming up in April, but we'll get to that later.
All right, so Saturday, 7 p.m., The Roof is going to be playing at the club at Stage AE. I'm going to have Frank of The Roof. He's going to be calling in a little bit later to talk about that show. And I also have another plug here. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'll post it on Facebook. A plug from a friend of mine. He's going to be performing at Mr. Smalls. I'll post that in the comments, so look for that video as well. Double L tonight. Tomorrow night, also at the Double L at 7 p.m., I will be there with Ian Insect, and we will be meeting some of the makers and shakers of the Rock All Night tour in Lawrenceville, and we're going to talk about the struggles that they went through and the battles that they fought to get that festival up, running, and sustaining.
Can I make a quick correction to a thing?
Yes.
My Twitter handle is Mike Cohen Comedy.
Did I put Michael Cohen?
It is. I would have preferred that, but Twitter does not allow one that
Twitter's
many characters. So Mike Cohen Comedy.
Mike Cohen Comedy. So, all right.
Sorry.
Follow him there. Follow me at River Talk PGH, and follow the River's Edge at River's Edge PGH. We have local music up next. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., join me at the Double L with Ian Insect. We're going to talk about the Millville Music Festival live at the bar. Come get a drink with me, and come watch me in person. Bask in the glory that is
It is glorious.
Brian Crawford. RiversEdgePGH.com, powered by NGL Web Tech. Keep listening. Stay with us. Local music is up next